Hey, my wonderful, wonderful people, a pleasant evening to everyone. All right, beauties. So I was watching the news. Haven't said that line in a little bit. I was watching the news. All right, so I was watching the news and I saw something very, very unfortunate. And I'm putting it out there because maybe there are some good Samaritans, not just from the diaspora, but from our own shores, from our own Jamaican shores, or even external people who are not necessarily Jamaican born or affiliated with Jamaica. They could, probably think of investing or giving back, rather, I should say, to the Bustamante High School. Unfortunately, their computer lab was destroyed by fire. And their, I don't know if it's their little preliminary investigations, not necessarily by the relevant bodies, the for example, the investigators, the police officers, and so forth. Maybe when they go outside and they were showing a particular area in which they said maybe some illegal wiring went on, and that could have compounded and contributed to the problem. And I felt so bad when I listened to the Mr. Shaguri, who is the chairman for the school. He said, boy, it's as though Bustamante High cannot seem to get a break, because as soon as they fix one issue, another issue, you could hear the sort of frustration and tiredness in his voice, as humans, we sometimes can, understand where he's coming from in that sense. In life, they have this saying that says when it rains, it pours. You get over one hurdle, it's like another hindrance, another obstacle, another obstacle. And you said, this is absolute madness. This is just crazy, you know. It was really burnt. When I looked, I said, my God, not even one computer remained in sight. The whole, you could see the melted look, the burn. It looked horrible, in the computer room. And I said, my God. And it's an area that has always been a necessary area. From Johnny was a boy, from, Philip was in his mother's womb and in his embryonic stage or phase. And, it is just, how significant it is to have a computer lab, a computer. I remember the days when I was younger and they had it, when they're now getting in the whole computer life, it wasn't as modernized as now. So you can understand the importance of having a computer lab. Secondly, there are students who cannot afford maybe having a strong internet service at their homes. They probably are without a computer personally, or without an iPad or a tablet, even a fully functional smartphone, to do certain work, like SBAs, certain presentations, SS. The benefits of having a desktop or a laptop or MacBook or iPad or a tablet, even a smartphone, a big size smartphone, and so on. So the importance of having it in this day and age is like having a mini computer at your disposal. So you see the significance. So the computer lab is a necessity, especially where, children, they don't have the facilities, on a frequent basis at their own homes. I'm not saying that's the only thing. I'm just saying, how multidimensional and multifaceted having a computer lab is. So I pray that people from the diaspora, from our own country, no matter how small it may be, contribute to sort of rebuilding, renovating refurbishing the computer lab for the Bustamante High School. Donate some, good desktops, I guess laptops as well, perhaps tablets, so that it can help the student. It can do it, maybe donate some tablets or whatever in the interim so that they can be assisted. Let us look to, we have been focusing on a lot of distractions. What we can do now that there is a crisis, the school's lab, computer lab has burnt down, and they were saying, they even talked about some break-ins or, from goats or so coming into the place, and you see a hole in the fence, the perimeter fence there, and all of that. Just one crazy after another. So let us put our hands on our hearts and our minds and monies, to contribute, even if it is the item itself, to the school, Bustamante High School. You can contact the regular administrative personnel and see what can be done. But I pray that God will remove whatever curse, so to speak, is hovering over them. And I'm saying that on the bay. I never said that the school is cursed. Please don't run with that. I'm saying, I use that terminology to say, boy, the challenge that the chairman spoke of, that as soon as one issue has been so-called resolved, another comes out, and it's like the school, he says, cannot seem to get a break. So I'm, praying that God will just find favor with the administration, the students, and, the school, and so that the children can learn comprehensively, cohesively, succinctly, effectively, and efficiently, so that they can become socially fit for our country, so that they can contribute greatly to the growth and to the development of our country. So I'm asking, people to, assist. And when you assist, the Bible says, those who sow sparingly, that is how you're going to reap sparingly. So don't sow in a cheap and stingy way. Don't do it. Some of you some of you, note my words, some of you know that you can do better, and you do for others what you would not want for yourself. So you know that you could go 100, but you go 40. You can go 200, but you go 10. That's wrong. And then you expect to turn around and say, Lord, bless me with 500. That's madness. That's one of the most selfish things, and selfish sort of a prayer. You're not sowing the seeds of the 500, the 1,000. You're sowing the 10s and the 20s. And I hope you don't use the whole thing about every little adds up. Not in certain sense. As Jamaicans have a saying that says, the cheapest can become the dearest. Let me give an example. You buy a pair of shoes that may cost 1,000. Shoes, not a little, flip-flop slippers, that you probably go and judge around in the house. Like something solid that you want, and you buy 1,000 Jamaican dollars for the shoes. You look, if you can't get to walk out to the store with it without you leaving the bottom of the foot, the bottom of the shoes in the store. You look if you can. When it starts strip and ring up and look terrible on you, and you go back and you buy another, it's the same problem. You go back and you buy another 1,000, same problem. You go back and you buy, while you could have just paid $10,000. Or 15 for solid shoes that will last and last and last and last. Can't done shoes. The shoes are not cure. Yeah, you buff it up, kick it up, box it up, twist it up, ring it up. It can't done. The can't done shoes. Yeah. Do you understand? So bountifully, so that you can reap bountifully. If you can give a very good laptop, as opposed to the ones that are refurbished and renewed, do that. Always say to yourself, what would I want for myself? And if you can answer that sincerely, then you go ahead and you do what you would want. Notice, what would you want? I didn't even use the word need. I was specific. I said, what do you want? What would be your own desire if somebody was to give you a nice gift like that? So so I'm reaching out to the people, help the students, because that we are trying to move our illiteracy rate from where it is at. It is beyond a chronic stage and phase. I don't know if it's still at 137 or 138 place, and that is just, oh my God, it is more than appalling. And the only other countries that are below us are countries that are super indigent, super poor, super impoverished. So you can see with that. So technically, I wouldn't even want to throw them in the mix and compare them with us. It's as though we're almost at the bottom. Right at the bottom. I'm not even comparing those extremely poor countries. So anything to get our children to be really educated, learn, have the mental ability, be computer literate, and all of the wonderful things, be so advanced. I am in support of it. Please, people from the diaspora, Jamaican people, outsiders, help. Contact the school's administration and help, please, and give good. Give what you would want for yourself. And trust me, God will bless you far beyond what you can ever ask or think, or what you have even given. All right? All right, my wonderful people, you know what to do. Read TikTok and YouTube. Have a good one.